What's going on, guys? Denise Gonzalez here from Double G Sports. We are celebrating Women in Sports Month, and I'm here sitting right next to Erin Kate Dolan. Erin Kate Dolan, how are you?
Good. Welcome to Philly.
Hey, so happy to be here. They have amazing food, by the way, just saying. So my first question to you is, what does being a woman in sports mean to you?
Being a woman in sports, I think, has its challenges, but at the same time, it can be very rewarding. I think being a woman in sports means that you're paving the way for a new generation and just making it a little bit easier for those wanting to enter into the industry. But I think it comes with a lot of pros and a lot of cons, but a lot more pros than cons.
What made you get into sports? Did you play sports while you were in college or in middle school?
Yes, so I always grew up playing sports. When I was younger in grade school, I played everything from soccer to lacrosse to track and field, cross country, but I was really into running, so track and field was my big event that I would do, or my big sport I would say. And then through high school I ran track and field, also did cross country, and then in college a little bit. So I went to the University of Oregon for 2 years, and when I was there I wanted to do physical therapy, and then I did one class in PT school and I was like, no way, and I took a journalism class and I almost dropped that class, and I ended up learning about broadcasting, so then I chose to pursue that. But ever since I chose to pursue broadcasting, I made it very known that I only want to work in sports broadcasting, and everyone was like, well, dabble into news and try to do that as well, whereas I just don't have a passion for news. I only have a passion for sports broadcasting, so I wanted to make sure people knew that. And the reason for that is that I always felt that the news somehow kind of divided people, and then with sports I feel like it's the one thing that brings people together. So that's why I always wanted to work in sports, and I think it has a lot more meaning personally to me than just regular traditional news.
You're into sports betting, that's what you do. I hear it's exploding, by the way. The business is going phenomenal. What is your goal in 5 years?
So I think that's a question everyone gets asked all the time. What is your goal in 5 years? And there's no answer to that because it's constantly changing. What I learned in college a year and a half ago is already outdated right now. So there's gonna be like just new platforms that always arise and could take over. But if I have one goal in 5 years, it's to be on a show, whether that's digital, whether it's on television, that I could just be myself and show personality and not just be a straightforward face, just giving information, just something where I can still have fun and make it light and, you know, have a good time through sports.
Absolutely, and that's another advice for anybody who's in college. What she said, everything that she learned is outdated, but it's important to know how to do everything yourself, to do your own editing, your own producing, so that when the opportunity calls, you are prepared for it. So I feel like it always does change, because one day you could be producing a show and then boom, someone calls you and like, oh, we need a host. Oh, I can do that. I'm a hostess. So
and everyone's trying to downsize all the time. So if you have all those skills, it's a really good thing to have. And then in college, I really hate writing. That's my one thing. I don't like writing recaps of things, but I can write for broadcast, which is different. So I took a sports writing class and that helped a lot. But you have to like do things that you don't like in this industry to make sure that you just have the tools necessary for when you do get, like you said, a hosting position, or you can be like, oh yeah, I can host and produce, so that you take 2 jobs instead of 1.
For a young athlete or for anyone who's trying to pave a way into sports, what advice do you have for them?
My advice would be to get as many reps as you can and talk to as many people as you can, network as much as you can. In college, that was something I was really big on, just going on LinkedIn and just finding, you know, friending 100 people from CBS, 100 people from ESPN, and then just reaching out to those people and sending them new reels and getting better and really sitting down and critiquing your work, because it's really hard to hear yourself when you're on camera. But if you sit down and you really watch meticulously, you'd be like, oh, okay, I did that there, I said that word wrong, and over time you just learn to get better that way.
If you can switch places with one female athlete, who would it be?
I would pick Serena Williams, just because, you know, she obviously has an amazing talent, and I think she's a great face for women, and just being a tough, I don't want to say a tough, but she's just a tough athlete. Like she's awesome. So I think that would be someone I would want to trade places with.
So I wanted to bring up a topic that I actually read yesterday online, and I saw an article, and it talked about how recently there was a reporter on the field, and an athlete was just like, do you even like sports? Like questioning her ability, her job. What advice do you have for the women who are facing adversity?
So for women facing adversity, particularly in that situation, you're going to get questioned 24/7. Yes. I think that's something I get questioned every time I say something about gambling, anytime I said something on local news. No matter what you know, how much you know, there's always going to be some people that question you, but you have to remember that the negative people are sometimes louder on social media than the positive people. But I think as long as you know that you're taking it seriously and trying your best, then you shouldn't let that bother you. But that's something you're just always going to go against. I mean, Scott Van Pelt, the top guys, also get that. Like, do they know what they're talking about? Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, those type of faces. So, but as a woman, I think it can be harder because people come at you for your looks, what you're wearing, or your makeup that day, or this or that. So that can sometimes get tedious. But I think as long as women just keep fighting that, and you're gonna have adversity no matter if you worked in pharmaceutical sales, you worked in real estate, you're gonna have the same, not sexist issues, but you're gonna have the same, oh, do you know what you're talking about, just from being a female. So that's just something you're gonna have to work through.
So before I sign off on this video here, quick advice to all the women out there that are in the sports world, just remember to be confident in your work, believe in yourself. Women, we might be better at this than men, you never know. But Denise Gonzalez here, we're Eric Dolan, signing off.